Good afternoon. Today I'm very happy to welcome Sierra Collins.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Very good. Tell me, Sierra, about your interest into becoming an artist. When did it start it, and what did you study?
So I think my first interest in all of this was at 5 years old. And I happened to see the movie Sunset Boulevard, and I wanted to be Norma Desmond. I remember telling my grandpa, he was watching it on like Turner Classic Movies, that was what I wanted to do when I grew up. And instead of him trying to sway me otherwise, he said, "Why not? That sounds great. You can do whatever you want to do."
Yes. And I've seen you studied many stuff like not related to art in your CV. This is correct? Like
Yeah.
hypnosis and therapy. Tell me about that, and does this help you in your career so far? And do you think it can help you into your performance in future roles?
So I'm a big proponent for anything that has to do with mindfulness. Number one, I have a background in traditional Chinese medicine, Eastern healing arts. I have a background in hypnotherapy. I am huge into meditation and mindfulness. I think anything where you're connecting your body and your spirit together is going to help creatively. I also think that it's just a necessary outlet for stress to get into character, to decompress. We all have things going on in our lives. And for me, before I audition or before I go to set, the number one thing that I like to do is I like to make sure that my mind is at least calm and that I can be present.
And speaking of Sunset Boulevard, maybe you have watched many classic films as well. I don't know if you're familiar with The Manchurian Candidate, and it was about a veteran of Korea War, and of course it was remade with Denzel Washington more than 10 years ago. But it uses they used like hypnosis to trigger their double agent through a phone call in the original film, the black and
Mhm.
white film. Tell me, did you see some films with psychologists, psychiatrists, and who use hypnosis? And do you think in cinema this kind of practice is done in a realistic way?
So I'm going to disagree with that completely. I do not think hypnosis is portrayed in films and in movies in a very realistic way. There is a rare case where it is, but for the most part, it's an exaggerated form of they almost make it into mind control or being able to manipulate someone's mind, getting someone to confess to everything that they've ever done. And the truth of it is it's a tool to train your subconscious mind. And the way that they use it is just not a realistic approach. It really is not possible to control someone's mind through hypnosis.
I remember as well last week we saw here the third, no, the new one, the from Insidious series, The Red Door,
Mm-hmm.
and picks up from the past, I think, second film because they did four and five with different stories, I think. But the thing is that they try to use hypnosis on the main character, the father, and the two sons to forget about certain events.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that that kind of hypnosis can take place? Like they can make you forget certain events in your life?
I don't necessarily believe that. I don't think that is hypnosis to erase trauma. I think it's
Hmm.
a tool to cope with trauma. On the flip
Hmm.
side of that, I think that's a better way of going about and using hypnosis personally. I also don't think it's healthy for us to want to just erase our minds and
Yes.
erase the past, because we can use those
Uh-huh.
as, where to go and grow and all
Great.
of that. And it's part of our story. But do I
Yes.
think do I think it's possible? Not that I've ever heard of. Could it be possible? I guess anything and everything is possible, but
Yes.
I wouldn't
Hmm.
suggest using it to erase or repress memories.
Yes, great. Tell me, I've seen a lot of your photo shoot in several websites,
Mhm.
and also on LinkedIn and your social media. What I wanted to ask you, how did you, started your career? Did you make professional photography and present yourself in agencies? How did you start it with you? And
Uh,
what were the difficulties you faced or rejection sometimes for
so
an up and coming model and artist?
we're talking two different things here. So, firstly, the acting stuff was easier because I grew up in a very, very small town, and naturally, the high schoolers would do plays, the community theater would do plays, and they needed children. I was able to read very young. I was very, very well in that area, and I wanted to perform. And so I got my start doing the acting stuff very young. I think I started probably around 6 years old, and I did a high school play at the time. And then I was doing community theater, and it just kind of the word spread that I was, that little kid that could do those roles. So that started very young. The modeling thing, not so much. Again, I grew up in a very small town. I was very, very, very self conscious about the way I looked, in particular, my nose. And the modeling thing came about because of my nose, which then made me glad that I had never had a nose job. I was at a bar in Minneapolis, and a photographer came up to me and really wanted to take photos of me. And I thought he was crazy at the time, but I kind of reluctantly agreed. And we did a shoot, and then I started, you know, building a little bit of a book, and work came about my way. And the number one compliment that I got from people always was how much they liked my nose. So, as self conscious as I was about it, I'm really glad I didn't have it fixed at this point.
And I've seen some of your films on the Internet Movie Database. You did a role in a film called Moon Crash. This is correct?
Mhm.
Moon Crash? This is correct?
That is
Uh, 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 yeah, tell me about your experience and your character in this film.
So in that particular film, I kind of got to play a very different role for me. I got to play a space tech, basically. It was fun. It was different. It was that was a very quick shoot, and it was in and out, but it was fun, and it was a very different role for me. It's not a role I typically play. Typically, I kind of tend to play more of like an antagonist, not someone trying to save the world.
Yes. You like challenger role like Sunset Boulevard. Yes. And right now, tell me about your plans and if you have some projects or dreams you would like to achieve in the upcoming period
Well,
as an actress and model. Mhm.
obviously, I think every actor is going to tell you the ultimate. You want that Academy Award sitting on a shelf someday, right? Um, we're building. We're getting there. Right now, I'm working on a project with a writing partner of mine. She's in England, and we're working on a TV series, hoping to get that sold. That's kind of been what we've been working on right now, being that not much is going on at the moment. I am working also on a feature film. I'm not sure when that's going to pick production back up again, but hopefully soon.
Yes. And as a model, do you like to achieve something in the modeling industry?
Modeling has always just kind of been a thing that it was never anything where I wanted to necessarily achieve something. It was kind of fun, and for a long time it paid a lot of bills. I think I've definitely stepped a lot further back away from that through the years here, just because, you know, you're not getting compensated the way that you were with the internet and social media and all of that. And I can also just pull out my cell phone and have a friend or whoever take photos and edit them. Recently, I did a Barbie shoot with a girlfriend of mine who designed some Barbie costumes. And we went down to Venice Beach, and all of those were just shot on iPhone, and I edited on my own.
Bravo, bravo. Sierra, I want to thank you very much for this interview. I wish you all the best.
Thank
I
you.
look forward for your upcoming films. I will try to look online for your past films mentioned on the internet, maybe a movie database, to watch them and review them. And best of luck for the financing of the television series. I hope at least you and your friend and partner can find financing for a pilot, and from there you can pick up. Could be picked up as a series on renowned network.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Have a lovely evening. Take care.
You too.
Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye.